For real, for real. I'm flex, man. I'm flex.
You're loafing, fam.
It's unusual, man. Like it's Thursday, bro.
It is. It
But
is.
it's exciting though, cause like yo, we don't usually, you know, what I'm saying like
Record
record on a
on a
Thursday,
Thursday.
yeah, other than Sunday. But you know, so when the guest is, you know, when their schedule is tight, as the one we got in the studio today, you got to accommodate them.
Of course.
Yeah, man. But
When they're in time, you have to, bring it in
yeah,
by
definitely
fire force.
by force. How's your week been going though?
Man, it's been good, man. What even happened this week?
It's only
Nothing
Thursday.
special.
Yeah, it's only
Nothing
Thursday,
special.
but we're looking
Just
forward
work.
to it again.
Yeah.
Oh, let them know who we got in the building today. She's beautiful.
Hey.
She's, you know, saying glowy.
Hey.
She's good.
Hey.
She's educated.
Hey, reflex. Now you do this. Okay.
Intellectual.
Keep going.
She's on her second. Yo, we got Sandra Kemayou in the building. Author.
Hey.
Speaker. Business strategist. CEO of SK Retreats. The list goes on and on.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the
Thank
podcast.
you guys. I'm super excited.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
the longest, I always say, yo, we got to get Sandra on here. We got to get Sandra on here. Because, we see, like we talk about movers and shakers in the community, right? Like you heavily involved in the community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, hey, let's flex.
Let's
Start taking down this. Let's start breaking these layers, man. Let's start breaking these layers.
Yo,
Wow.
like,
Because y'all don't understand.
first of all, shout out to, you know, in the behind the scenes man, I cheated, you know what I'm saying, for like
Hey.
you know, hook up. And I actually have gone, we're going to talk about this book in depth, yo. I've gone through it. You can see my markings, but like, yo, who is Sandra to begin with? Who's Sandra Kemayou to begin with?
Wow, that's a good one. I struggle with that question. So my official answer is my name is Sandra. I'm a business strategist and I'm an author. But on the real though, I am my sister's keeper. So that's the one thing I want to be known as, someone that had my sister's back. And so all the books, the retreats, everything that I do really comes from that I want to make sure that women feel empowered to walk in their purpose.
Like, how did you, you know what I'm saying, you talk about it extensively in the book, you know, like, what does it mean to walk in your purpose? First of all, let me start there. What does it mean to walk in your purpose? Like, for a woman who just tuned in or who's listening, like, what does it mean to walk in your purpose?
I believe that everybody's born for a reason. I don't think that we are here by mistake. And I really think that your life journey is to figure out what that reason is. So you are born with gifts and talents, and your job is to make sure that you use those gifts to serve humanity. And so we all know what our natural tendencies are. And if you don't know, I talk about this in the book too, like if you have no idea, then you need to slow down. Because a lot of the time we are so busy in everybody's lane. Like if I ask you, yo, what is Beyonce thing? Like you'd be like, she just had the twins.
Right.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
just snapped back.
Yeah.
She wore the one spank thing. It's like a big thing now. We are so involved in everybody else's life that we don't always know what we are good at. And so I encourage women and men to kind of shut down the noise and focus and figure out, study you.
Right.
Yeah.
You Cameroonian.
Good.
Hey. Hey. Correct.
I'm
Country.
a proud Cameroonian.
What part of Cameroon?
I grew up in Douala, but I'm Bamileke.
Bamileke, eh? So that means that you know how to
Manage
handle money.
I know
Money.
money.
You know how
One
to-
thing I know money.
Can I hold 20? Just the only 20 dollars. My is on E right now.
I got you.
When did you move here to the States and why?
I was 16 when I moved, and I moved for education, like better school.
Yeah, with parents or
No, I moved alone. I had an uncle and a sister here, so I had family here.
like where did you move to here? Where?
Silver Spring.
And where did you go to school?
I went to Blake, so I did 11th and 12th grade here.
High school, the
Blake
one.
High School.
Yeah,
The
down
one I
street.
went in.
Yeah. Was it better, the education?
It was easier because I suddenly went from like being a average student in Cameroon that was struggling to like, hey, 3.9. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
School down there and here is
Yeah,
like, bro,
yeah.
you're a genius here if you come
Yes,
from Africa.
I was smart. Suddenly people were
You're
like,
a genius
yo.
here if you come from Africa, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of, that's why most parents, when they say, oh, my child is not that bright in school, I said, were they born here? Yep. I said, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the answer. You cannot compare those that were born here with those that came in, because those that came in already had that foundation.
Yes.
They had to process everything.
Yes.
But hey, let's not go away from from you. Your books.
Yes.
My bad.
This is the second one, by the way. The one we focus on hiding in plain sight, the business of you.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
like you. First of all, shout out to her, yo. She gave us advanced copies.
Right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she brought 2 more. So we like gifts around here.
Oh, that's good.
We appreciate it. And
man.
yeah, I've gone through it. Hiding in plain sight. What is you know what I'm saying? What does that mean? Hiding in plain sight.
So the book started out because I was having a conversation with my mentor, and we're putting together what I think was our best retreat yet. So I put together this women retreat. So I have a mentor for the past like 4 or 5 years.
Right.
I'm big on mentorship. I believe that
And who's
you
your
should
mentor?
have. Her name is Dr. Shirley Pierre Robertson.
Shout out to Dr. Shelley.
Yeah, shout out. And so I was asking her, really looking for props, like, hey, what do you think? Is there anything I could do that I'm not currently doing where I could improve? I'm thinking she's gonna be like, no, look, your Excel spreadsheet is on point. Like, things are good. She's like, yeah, you ready? I'm like, oh, what do you mean? And so she said, where are you at?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what do you mean? She's like, where are you at? I don't see you anywhere.
Right.
Like, you're busy, you're doing these retreats and everything. Do you even have an About You page on your website? I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have it. And she's like, why not? Because I've been doing business long enough to know that is the most important page on your website, the most visited page on any website.
Right.
So she's like, you can't tell me you don't know. So what's really going on? And so we talked through it. At first I was like, nah, like I just forgot. She's like, no, what's really going on? And so she said, and then I said, I guess I've been hiding. She's like, yeah, you have. I was like, I guess I've been hiding in plain sight.
Right.
And I was like, that is that could be a book. She's like, yeah, it could be. I was like, somebody needs to write a book about this. And so when I started thinking about what book I wanted to write, I really wanted my readers on a journey. And so I thought I really want my next book, a couple of books from now will probably be about business, but I wanted to lay a foundation. And the truth of the matter is you can't go anywhere really fast if you're hiding. You may be able to be successful, quote unquote, but you will self-sabotage.
Right.
So you have to be willing to stand in your light. That's how I call it in the book, right? Stand in your light no matter what. But a lot of people are not willing to do so. I wasn't. And so that's where the title of the book came from.
So why do you think that most people don't want to, they're not willing to stand in their light, in your opinion?
I think they're scared, right? To be judged for who you really are.
Right.
I think if you don't know me or you don't like me, you don't know me. But if you really know me and I really show up as who I am and you say, I don't like you, that hurts. And even figuring out what that is, because I talk about being put in a box, especially in our society. Oh, he's the doctor. He's the smart one. Don't forget it. Especially if you went to boarding school. I see that even more with my husband's side, where it's like, if you went to boarding school and you were the girl that stole something from, that's it, you're a thief. Like even 20 years later, they're like, oh, that girl that was a thief. So you are boxed in sometimes and you want to maybe break out of it, but you don't know how to do it.
Right.
So, but I really think at the core is that you're scared. You're scared that people won't accept the real you, or maybe you show them the real you at some point and they told you it doesn't work. Nobody wants to hear your baby is ugly. Nobody wants that. And so you choose to kind of hide. It's like, I'm going, and you don't do it on purpose. It's not like you go out there and say, oh, my job is going to be a full-time hider.
Right.
No.
It just happens.
It just happens.
Gotcha.
Would you say this book is a feminist book?
I don't know what being a feminist. So initially in my career, in my woman empowerment career, before I got married, I was like, I'm a feminist, right? But I think I don't even know what that means now anymore. Do I write and think of a little girl reading my book? Usually I do. But I do think that a guy can read it. And because who doesn't hide? I don't feel like hiding has a gender.
Right.
Who doesn't feel, well, at least the people I talk to usually is, yeah, I'm out here, people think I'm doing a whole lot, but this is just 50%. They can't handle the whole thing. That doesn't have a gender. But it's true that in my book, a lot of the time, I end every chapter with "Dear Girl" in the mirror. I say girl and I don't say boy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that. You know what I mean? Like, is this because I was reading it? You know what I mean? Especially towards the end of chapter 1, I was like, yo, you're spitting bars. Like, there's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, just not chapter 1.
Yeah, in chapter 1, you know what I mean?
thank
It's
you.
like, yo, wow. Like, I can't. So I was like, why did you write this only for women or?
My son asked me that question all the time, and I told him, because I put the retreats for the women, and my son Ethan is like, Mom, you're always doing stuff for the the girls? How about the boys? I'm like, we're waiting on you, boo.
Right.
I can speak to the guys for sure, but I think my sweet spot, I
It's to
can't
the
lie.
ladies.
It's
Oh,
the
how
women.
about this? Instead of them feeling that, oh, you're not speaking for men, how about the man should actually read the book to actually learn to treat their daughter or their wife? How about that?
Perfect segue because, like, you speak a lot, and this is something that I picked up in the book. I mean, you can touch on that. You speak a lot about your dad and his influence in your
Yeah,
life, and
yeah,
like
yeah.
why you are and how you came to be who you are today. Do you how do you, and first of all, just talk about that before I ask the question. What I'm saying, how influential was your dad in your upbringing, how you've come to be the woman that you are right now?
Oh, my dad was like instrumental because he was very present.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad felt that, I think my dad thought I could run a country. Like,
Yeah.
like, I'm like, yo, dad, I'm a girl,
Yeah.
But my dad literally groomed me to come and take over his clinic. So my dad is a medical doctor and he has a private hospital in Cameroon. And literally the plan was you come to America, go to medical school, and you come home.
Right.
And so that's not, I mean, like women, you get married and like
Yeah, you go
you're
off,
not gonna
yeah.
come and take over a hospital.
Yeah.
But I think my dad had like so many big dreams for me, and so anytime I'll be like, I don't think I can do it. He's like, yo, what?
Yeah, yeah.
And so just watching him take a little, I mean, it was like a small room and turning it into a big what it is now today, and just seeing his work ethic, and just watching him, that was so influential in my life. And yeah, just having somebody that believed in me more than I believed in myself, it was a blessing, and I talk about the bad side of that as well. But no, my dad was very present in my life.
What I'm saying here, what I'm saying, like this even speaks to the title of this podcast and this platform, Stuck in the Middle, and we are branching, we are moving in a place in the community as Africans and African descent now, where we are branching out from there. Like you're an author. It's either you a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or a disgrace to the family. You know what I mean? And this platform recognizing people like you who are movers and shakers. And what I'm saying, like chapter 1, page 5 in your book, you said, and this is from the book. You said he talked to me with so much conviction about becoming a doctor. You know what I mean? Like, how, first of all, part one of the question, how can parents right now recognize that, like children are passionate about different things and can excel in different things? How can we, show our parents that? Or how can they begin to recognize that? And how can the children also begin to show their parents that? How did you do it?
Oh, it was a fight. So yes, what he's talking about, I was about 7, 8, and my dad asked me, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" I thought we're just talking.
Right.
I mean, I was like, I could be a hairdresser. Dad was like, yo, then you're gonna stop school. Like, he's like, I'm wasting money, and he's like, I'm gonna open. He's like, tomorrow morning, pick a location. I'm gonna open you a hair salon, and that's it. No more school. I'm like, I thought I thought we were joking. He's like, no, tell me the next thing. I'm like, okay, maybe a lawyer, because I like to like talk and stuff. He's like, a lawyer? Really? That's what you want to do? I'm like, okay, fine. Like what then? He's like, how about a doctor? I was like, oh, really? Like what? I don't really, Dad? And he just told me like, you're saving lives and blah blah blah. Don't you want to be like me? And I was just like, okay. I could tell that was so important to him,
Yeah, right.
that I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I think for my dad, the okay, I'll do it at 8, that was like signing blood, like that's the future doctor. And from then on, they started, like I had an internship, I think when I was 10 or 11, I talk about it in the book, like full-blown serious internship. I was wearing like the little coat. My
the
dad got
hospital.
me, I'm telling you, a little white coat with my name on it. And I went during the summer, and I'll go to my dad's hospital as an intern. He will get people to let me draw their blood. Like for real, my dad would be like, I'm like this.
You ain't drawing my blood. It'd be like, hey, where's your clearance or whatever they call
Oh
it?
yes, dad would just be like, she's my daughter, and you have good veins. Okay, good, go ahead. I mean, like dad was dead serious. Okay, he was gonna make me love this. And I talk about, so to answer your question, he wanted what was best for me. And I think that's the truth about every parent. They don't tell you to become a nurse or a lawyer because they want what's bad for you. This is what they know. And if you look at even way back when we were being colonized, the people that went to school were the people that were better off. So they really just want you to have a good future. So when you come out there and you say, oh, I want to be a basketball player, and they look at the statistics, they're like, can we have a plan B? Like, really? Can you do something easier? Can you do something where you're not going to be heartbroken? You want to be an author? Really? How many books are written every year? You're going to make a living off of that. So they're looking out for you. My advice for parents is study your kids, because every kid kind of comes, like my oldest, he loves sport. My middle one, not so much, right? Me trying to force sport, expose them to everything. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Expose them and see what they're naturally inclined to. But yeah, no, it didn't go down that way in my house. But the good news is, after all the hell they put through, my dad now talks to my youngest sister about, what do you really want to do? Are you sure this is your dream? I'm like, hold up, excuse me. Really? We're asking about dreams and goals. He's like, look, I learned from you that it makes no sense to force our dreams on the kids. But get ready for a battle. I mean, if your dad is anything like my dad was,
it's a battle.
I mean, we didn't talk for 5 years. Like, that's how bad. Like, I was disowned.
Whoa, 5 years?
Yes, sir. Dad was not playing that. So be ready to fight for what you really want as the kid. Be ready. And I'm not saying if you're 5 or 6 or 7, right? But when if you feel like this is not what I want, do research on what you want. Don't just be like, I don't want to go to college, and that's it. Because that means to the parent, you're going to be sitting in my house, eating my food. No, that's not going to work either.
True that.
So do research, practice, and present a plan. And I talk in the book about the fact that if I had told my dad, I don't want to be a doctor, but I'm going to be a best-selling author, I'm going to be a business analyst, and I'm going to make dough, that would I'd be like, look, no problem, when do you start writing? But I didn't know what I wanted to do, which is the case with a lot of people. I just knew I didn't want to be a doctor. And so I would say to people, parents, family member, loved ones, give people room to figure out what they really want to do versus saying, if you're not going to do nursing, what are you going to do? I don't know yet. Give me a minute.
What does it take to actually be an author?
You have to make a decision. I think that for me, I've always loved writing. I talk about starting to write my first age of 7, trying to write that biography. Never completed that.
I read that in the book.
Never did, but he was super patient with me. Like, he would sit down, I'll be like, okay, when you were 6, what happened? When you were 7, like, that took like 2 months, every night. My poor dad, I don't know where he took the patience. I'll be writing stuff. Hold on, slow down. How did you call that? Consamba? Spell consamba. Like, he's spelling it out, and like, I took it super seriously. Never completed that book, but somewhere in the back of my mind, I always felt like I want to write a book. But for so many years, I was sitting there like, I'm planning to write a book. Like, anytime you me anyone, like, yeah, no, I'm ready to write my book. No, I'm getting ready to, like. And
it was one of those things where you go, yeah, I am.
I'm going to do it.
When are you going to do it?
But I never felt that I will. Like, I did not have a role model. Like, it's not like I had a cousin that had gone and wrote a book. Like, I didn't even know what that looked like or what that process was like. It's doable. I did it. I think that you just have to make a decision, and you have to figure out where in your life you're going to make room for this.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What is your writing process like? Take us on a little journey of your writing process.
So for me, I believe in consistency. And how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so my life is already so busy that I talk about having this idea back in the days of wanting to go to Colorado and stay somewhere for like 3 weeks and just ride in a robe. I have 3 kids. I'm not going to Colorado for no 3 weeks. Like, I even tried, I told my husband, like, babe, let's talk about this. I really just want to go for 3 weeks. He was like, what? So that wasn't going to happen.
To Colorado.
I wanted Colorado, a mountain house.
Why Colorado? Oh.
Because that's where writers go. Like, in my mind, that's what writers do. Like, they just take a break. They turn off all you don't call me, I'm writing a book. Like, that's, in my mind, what I wanted to do. That wasn't going to happen. So what I did was every morning for 45 minutes, no matter whether I felt inspired, whether I felt like it or not, I would write. And I gave myself a deadline. 45 minutes every day, no matter what, I'm going to write. That's it.
How do you put the stories together?
So I knew, so they tell you that ideally you should kind of put the outline 1st, right? Have a title and then say, what do I want to talk about, and put the chapters, like just the outline. And then you go back in chapter 1 and you write the stuff in there. That was really cool when I did the guide, my first book. That was smooth, easy. It worked that way. With this book, it didn't. So I was just writing stuff, and then the process of trying to put it all together, deleting, removing. I mean, it was a thing. It was a process.
How long did it take you to write this book?
This book took me about. The writing is easy. It's everything after. So the writing part took me about 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
But then the hard work is editing, formatting, all that kind of stuff, like book cover, photo shoot. Like
Yeah.
after that, that takes even longer than writing.
And by the way, she got a book signing tomorrow.
Yes.
Where is that?
It's going to be at the Convention Center in Washington, D.C.
So if you're watching us live on Facebook right now, this episode is going to drop this weekend as well. It's going live on Facebook right now. The Convention Center, Washington, D.C. tomorrow, what time?
It starts at 2. So I'm
So-
speaking from 2 to 3 and then signing the books right after.
I'm just going to say, you speaking at the this week at the Congressional Black Authors Pavilion.
Yes.
What's that about?
So the Congressional Black Caucus, they're having their yearly annual convention, and they have an author pavilion, which is basically authors coming all over the country presenting or doing book signings. I'm going to be on a panel talking about business, women in business. And so powerful women are on that panel. And we will talk about, share our knowledge and give tips, tricks, how to just turn your business around.
Why business? You got a background in business?
So I talk about in the book that number one, I'm Bamileke, so it's just in the blood.
Like we said, you know how
Look,
to
it's in
manage.
the blood. I remember asking my dad, I was like, Dad, like, did you ever take a business class? He's like, for what? It's in my blood. So I really have firsthand experience watching my dad start multiple businesses. I grew up in it. Same thing with my mom. She's a business owner as well. So I have firsthand, not just what you read in the book, because book is good, MBA is great, but real life is different.
That's true.
Okay, it doesn't teach you the fact. Like my dad, he gets to work at 6 a.m. till today. He's the boss. Like that's his hospital. 6 and he's there till 8 p.m.
Oh, wow.
All day long. He's the first
In
one
Cameroon
there.
or here?
In Cameroon.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so he's always working. So I have that mentorship. I grew up in it. And then, yes, now I work as a business analyst in Dallas, Texas. And so that's what we do.
I don't know if you mentioned it actually in the book, but what's the name of your dad's hospital?
IDIMED,
IDIMED.
IDIMED,
What?
and that's in Douala in
Okay.
Bonapriso.
Okay, yeah. Go, go.
Hey, go check him out.
Let's support
Look,
the business,
best
yeah.
hospital in Cameroon right now.
I have
Go
a
check him out.
question for you.
Yeah.
Let's divert it just for a little second,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
You're a woman. A businesswoman at that.
Yeah.
Your husband is a businessman as well.
Hey, boo.
Shout out to your husband.
Shout out to the Bay.
Shout out to Bay.
Shout out to the Bay.
Yeah.
You know, right now we're in this era where some people try to be very busy, while others try to be very lazy. And then there's that contrast between, like for example, a man and a woman. You want to find somebody who is toe to toe with you, somebody who can push you to be greater, and vice versa, right? What's your thoughts on, for example, you being very busy and your husband is like, slow down, let's spend time. Like he's not actually invested in the same dream. I mean, in your dream and stuff. Like he's trying to hold you back, saying, "Oh, you giving in too much. You're not paying attention to me." Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Magnifique Christian.
Wow, that's a great question. And
Yes.
that's real. Like, that's real life. And I hear from women I hear that comment from a lot of women. I'm blessed that hasn't been my experience, but you have to understand that I think if I got married today, that would be a thing. Like that would be a conversation that we'll have to have, right?
Right.
But when we got married 10 years ago, I was busy. I was a CEO of the Hiding Club. So I was busy just being in the background, right? So that was not an issue, period. And we grew together, and I think our relationship is at a point where we don't need, not that we don't need as much time, but like he gets, You know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
know each other enough that we can have the difficult conversation with, like, yo, you need to slow down, or whatever that is. And I'm not questioning whether he's trying to slow me down, you know. But for a brand new relationship, that's tough, because we are trying to build this house. We're trying to have kids. I even hear women saying, now is not the time. Like, I'm busy. I have to finish school. I have to do that. And that's a tough thing. I tell you, I don't know. I believe, for me, I have learned that being submissive is a good thing. And for me to say that, like, God had to come and do some things, right? And so I think that it depends. I think men, I don't know any guy that wants a wife that will go kind of toe to toe with him and say, I don't care what you think, I'm the boss. But I don't know any guy that likes that. So my suggestion to the ladies would be, maybe check your approach, right? Till today, if I want to travel, let's say I want to go on a girls trip, I ask my husband, like, hey, babe, I was thinking I wanted to go on a girls trip with my girls. What do you think? And if he says no, I'm like, okay, boo, no problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think because he feels respected, he doesn't feel like he has to kind of prove that he's the man of the relationship. It's not an issue. Like, he knows he is.
Right.
He knows if he said, let's drop everything, I'll still choose my boo. Like, I'll be like, yo, call Bishop Jakes, let him help you through this, because I got to take care of home. So my priority is always home. And I'm blessed that I have a husband that's like, no, go out there and fly. Like, I got this.
Right, because he gets it.
He gets it. So I have been blessed. It's not the case for everyone.
Right.
Because it depends also where the guy is in his journey. When people are not walking in their purpose, you annoy them with talking about purpose. Because if I'm working at a nursing job, at a job that I don't like, and you talking to me about, oh, I can't work at that job because I need to write, child. Really? You need to write. I'm stuck at this job that I hate and I'm managing, and you want to be happy and fulfilled? Are you kidding me? And so there's always that internal kind of thing happening too with the guys or the women. Or you have a wife. I remember that was the thing. Like, I asked him to go out. I'm like, wait, you gotta go and have fun while I'm home? He's like, come with me. I'm like, no, I don't want to go. I want us to be home.
Sound like
Right.
He's like, I don't want to be home.
Right.
Let's go. I'm like, I don't want to go. He's like, I don't want to be. So it was this thing of, because I was unhappy, I was kind of offended that you're having fun. How dare you? So I think that you have to also kind of understand where is your partner on this journey and bring him along with you in a loving way, and understand that this is new. When you talk about purpose, like, we didn't grow up talking about no purpose.
No.
You go to work, you make some money, and you come.
Right.
And so it's a process.
Gotcha.
I have a girlfriend. I feel like she'll kill me if I don't do this.
Oh, what happened? Oh,
no,
see
yeah,
why I
yeah.
needed
You'll
my
kill
boo
me
here
too if you
to be
don't fix
like,
it.
yeah, I'm like, I was sitting here talking the whole time. Thank you.
No, but what does your husband do?
My husband is a database administrator, but his love is photography. So Dre Vision Photography, shout out, he is the best out there. Like, he's
Hey.
so talented. No, my
That's
boo is
your
like,
fine.
no, my boo is super duper talented. He's been doing this for years
Right.
now. I mean,
He did the
people.
photo shoot for this book.
He does all
All
my
your stuff,
pictures,
yeah.
all my stuff. I mean, boo, like, got me.
Keeping down the family.
Yes.
Real quick, where'd y'all meet?
Okay, look. Okay.
Real
Nobody should
quick.
judge me. But
Twitter?
we actually met at a club, and I was on a date.
Wait, what?
wait.
Repeat that again. Repeat that again.
You came to club with Jake, and you left with horseback. I like it.
Okay, all my Christian folks, don't send me no message. I don't
man.
need the messages, okay?
Speaking of that, you start off, most of the chapters here with a scripture quote.
Yes.
Speak about your faith, if there is, or is that just
No, yeah, I am a super duper. I mean, I am a strong woman of God. No,
Amen,
I
I
mean,
like it. Yeah,
my
yeah.
faith is kind of cornerstone. Like, that is what, when I talk about taking a leap of faith, what are you having faith in? Because if literally you're just having faith in the fact that you are the best show in the world, no, you're not. There will always be a best show in the world. Or you are the best athlete, no, you're not. There will always be a better athlete. So you are leaping and you're having faith in the fact that the gifter, God, that gave you the gift had a purpose for it. So you have to. So for me, I mean, that is my sanity. That is the only reason why I can sit here and say I wrote a book. you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's big for me. Yeah.
How did your previous book do?
So my previous book, it did great. I mean, we hit
What was the
the.
title, by the way, for the?
It was Guide to Creating Wild Retreats. Shout out to my son who helped me pick the book. Actually, Ethan. Yo, hey Ethan.
Hey, Ethan. Yeah.
It did great. It hit the Amazon best-selling list in like the first week. So it did really, really good.
When did you release that?
That was back in June, mid-June.
Oh, this year.
Yes.
Shit, dog. She's
Are you
on the
already-
roll, man. She's on the roll. Right?
When is the like official release for this one? This
This
is
was
out.
Tuesday. Tuesday.
This
It's
Tuesday. Yeah.
out.
Yeah. Okay. I
Where's
got
the
I
camera?
got advance copy. So
Yes,
you know,
yes. It
Yeah,
came out
yeah,
on
yeah.
Tuesday. It came out on Tuesday.
advance copy.
Man, speaking of your son, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a video on YouTube. I mean, Facebook, rather.
Yeah.
Facebook, rather.
Yeah.
You know, you with your son, your CEO. I call him your CEO.
Yes.
You
Oh,
know
yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
What is it like, walking your son through the path of becoming an entrepreneur?
Oh, it's important to me. He has to be a boss. Like look. I want him to be kind, sweet, loving, all these things, but he has to be a boss. Like I can't. Like he has to have a couple of businesses going. He just has to. So I just want to expose him already. He's very involved in everything I do, whether it's to help me pick out the title of the book or the picture. Like I just involve him so it doesn't feel like it's a chore.
Right.
I don't even want him to know that he's really watching and doing an internship, but he is.
How old is he?
He's 9.
9. Okay.
That's great.
He's
That's
9. I have 3. So I have a 9-year-old, 5, and 2.5.
Ethan for president.
Ethan for president, yo.
Says Prince. And Eureka says you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you,
look
my in-law.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Mamapreneur. That's a word we just coined in here.
Ooh,
well, I don't know. I don't know if it's new, but hey, I actually
We need
said
to
it. I was
trademark
like,
this.
Man, that's dope. Mamapreneur.
Mamapreneur.
Yeah.
Mamapreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur.
Mamapreneur.
Mamapreneur.
Ooh, yes.
Mamapreneur. You heard this person stuck in the middle. If anybody.
We need to trademark. We need to talk after this and trademark it real quick. I like it.
Right. How do you balance that life, though?
You don't. Like I can't come here and say that, oh yeah, I have it figured out, all the clothes I folded in my house, and no, like you don't think about it. Because if I literally have to sit down and think about it, I'll be like, nah, let's take a break. Let me take a long nap. So you do what's required at the time. And it's that whole thing, which as a business, you guys are business owners now. You have to be in the moment while still having the long-term goals.
Right.
It's that juggling, right? So I don't even attempt to say I'm going to balance it out. I can't. So what I do is I build a village. I ask for help. Like I am good at saying, hey, I need help. Build a village, because you cannot, if you want to do something extraordinary, if you want to go out there and stand in the light, you cannot do it alone.
Speaking of building a
It
village,
takes a
right?
village, yeah.
Speaking of building a village, shout out to Eureka. She's always
That's
always
my
been
boo.
involved in
Yeah,
everything, man.
yeah.
I see her in so many different things. I just pause sometimes and ask myself, where does she get the energy? But only her can answer that question.
Yes.
But they say if you hang out around 4 million years, right?
Mm.
You'll be number 5.
Yeah, definitely. You become number 5. How did you guys actually become so close? And what has the been like in terms of growing entrepreneurially?
When you say grown close, you're talking about me and Yuri?
Yeah, you're
Well, we're actually related.
Okay.
So she's my sister.
Okay.
So, by default, we are related, and then we just click, right? She's just that person in the family that, ride or die type thing. So we have a friendship outside of just being in-laws, even though we go everywhere calling each other in-law. So that's how we did it. But you're right that who you surround yourself with is important. What you listen to is important. That you have to, if whatever your craft is, you can't tell that you want to be the best basketball player and you know nothing about basketball.
Right.
You're joking. You're joking with yourself and you're joking with everybody else, right? So you have to invest in you. And I think that we're not always really good at doing that as a community, and we have to get better. We just have to. And if what you need is in your community, I need you to go outside of it.
Let's pick on this point real quick, right? Let's actually emphasize the importance of collaboration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, please help us, tell the listeners, the folks out there, the importance of collaboration.
Collaboration is key. I think that we may be the only people that don't want to collaborate. When you go everywhere you go, you see collaboration. You will see companies say, hey, I need this person to endorse my product, right? And they will go to a star and say, or a YouTuber and say, hey, yo, can you review my product? Can I come on your show? Can I? And there's not that sense of competition. I think that competition really is born out of a feeling that there's only one spot, right? There can only be one Cameroonian show doing really well. And it comes from that place of, lack and this poverty mindset, which we have to change. We really have to. I think collaboration is key. We can do so much more together than trying to do it in different corners. That's why I applaud you guys for doing this. Putting together, and I told Diane the other day, but having a platform where we can come and talk about things like this, it helps with the collaboration. Because we're now showing the world like, hey, we can come together and support each other.
Right.
I am big on mentorship. I am big on asking for help when you don't have the information.
Gotcha. Retreats.
Yes. Please talk a little bit about these retreats. You speak about it in the book. By the way, saying like we're talking with Sandra Kemayou, author of The Business of You Hiding in Plain Sight, Journey from the Shadows to Standing in the Light. You talk a little bit about your retreats and the struggle of putting together your second retreat. And nobody's signing up.
Nobody signed up.
Here we're big on like hitting rock bottom and how you got out of that. So what was that like, and how did you get out of that?
So that wasn't the second, that wasn't even the first time that it was bad. Like the first time that I put together, it was me and a couple of friends, and we put together our first conference. So that was a couple of years before that retreat, and we went to, I think, Silver Spring, downtown Silver Spring, good location. We paid. The event was going to be free. It was free, and it was like a ballroom that could seat about 80 people, and eight people showed up. Eight. Hubby was there. Shout out to my Budo. He was there. He took pictures. He was like, "It's okay, boo. Like, keep on keeping on. Like, hey, yo." But that broke my heart because there's nothing. Nobody goes through the process of birthing a dream so that it can just be like out in the streets and nobody sees it.
That's true.
Everybody goes through the process because you hope that what you have to offer is valuable. So we had that, and I was just like, you know what? It's okay. Even though it's 8 people, I remember standing on stage and telling the 8 people, I was like, even though it looks like it's empty in here, 8 people, I see generations. I was like, okay, you gotta say something. You gotta say something. That happened and got me terrified of empty rooms. I was like, you put together these things and nobody show up, and you are out like money and everything. So fast forward a couple of years after that, I put together my first retreat, and it was amazing. Like, we had people sleeping, like there was no room. And people were like, yo, you do another one. You missed the retreat, like you have to do another one. Okay, the people want it.
Right.
So we're going to put a second one together. Put it out there, crickets. No one. Like, I'm like, where are the people?
What?
Didn't they say that they wanted another retreat? What happened? Nobody came. And so I deleted the event on Facebook. I lost money because you had to put a deposit. Lost my $800. And I was just like, you know what? I tried to step into the light. I tried to come out of hiding. And I learned that nobody wanted what I had to offer. So I'm going to just go back to hiding. It's cool when you hide. Like, especially at that time, it's cool. You don't get hurt. You don't lose money. And you're not embarrassed. So I just went back to hiding and helping everybody else with their purpose. So that's the one thing. I was never that person in hiding, depressed, and eating chips. Like, I couldn't. The calling on was too strong. Like, so I would just for collaboration.
Right.
Who can I help? Yo, you have a dream? You got to... Let's do this. Don't just put my name on it, though.
I'm currently hiding.
I'm currently unavailable.
So wait, did all that lead you to write the book then, or did all that events did it lead you to write the book?
Yeah, it goes back to that.
Yeah, it did. It did. Again, I wanted to take. I think that you can't build, you have to have a foundation.
Right.
And so because I knew I was in the business of writing, I would write multiple books. So I said, what is the first step? With working with all the entrepreneurs and all the businesses that I've worked with and all the conferences and all the women that I've counseled, what is a recurring theme? If there's one thing, what is it that I've noticed the most? And I've noticed the most people are not living up to their full potential. They're out there in the street giving 40%, 20%. Y'all are clapping like,
Please
yo,
repeat that. Please repeat that. Repeat that. People are not what?
living up to their full potential. And they
Okay.
know it. They know it. You just don't know.
I'm glad you asked that to repeat. Sorry.
Yeah, no, the people know it. Like, I knew I wasn't giving 100%. But to everybody else, are you kidding? You have a master's degree. You have the kids. Like, are you kidding? You have the... What do you mean? I'm like, y'all don't understand.
Right.
This is just 20%. Like, you don't
Exactly.
even get it.
Yeah.
So you know inside of you, when you go to sleep or you look at that mirror, you know whether you are giving it 100% or you are kind
no.
of hiding.
That's facts.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
And also in the book, you know, sorry, I forget the title of the first book.
Yeah, guide to wild retreats.
Guide to Our Retreats. I mean, that concept, that was a very great concept you did, because I actually read the book and it just had my brain, like, you know, sparking. It was just going in different directions, because I never knew what it took to actually, you know, create a retreat.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, not till I read the book, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
There are different factors to take in perspective. Like the one that really stood out the most to me was location. You know, location. You have to pick a location where people
You be
will show
interested
up.
and sign up.
Yeah,
That's true.
If you go pick some in Mexico, like most people will be like, yeah, that's too far." Type
Yeah,
of
yeah.
thing,
You have to know
so-
who you're targeting. My first retreat was here in Maryland, because that's where I had my base. I was in
Lokawa.
Maryland, Poolsville, Maryland. It was great. It was amazing. These retreats have been life changing. The last retreat that we've done, this is the four from the retreat. I think we've had 2 businesses that were born out of that. We had one person double their revenue within a month after the retreat. I mean, it's amazing, life changing. And let's not talk about the boyfriends that were broken up with. Sorry, guys. You know, but you see women walking
Hey,
in.
what kind of stuff are you people doing in this?
Look, but here's the thing.
Hey, wait.
Well,
Is this retreat?
because when you are hiding, who do you hang out with?
Boyfriend?
No, you hang out with other people that are hiding.
Yeah.
Oh,
A lot of the
okay,
time, you
okay.
hang
Wow.
out with other people that are okay with you hiding, and I talk about this in the book. This book will change your life,
Step up, man. Step up, man. we have to do better.
right? Like it will transform your relationships, because at the end of the day, there are people that are invested in you staying at the position you currently are. They don't want you to get any bigger than where you are. They're invested. They love it. They love you being scared. They love you babysitting their kids. They love you not going to school. They love it. You giving them rights everywhere. They're invested in that. And now you want to stop and go back to school because a chick wrote a book. Are you kidding me? Who's gonna pick me up? So you have to understand that you've built a structure in your life with people that love you the way you are, and now you want to step out. Some people will come with you. A lot will be like, yo, you got to go. Like,
Yeah.
I can't go with you where you're going. I can't.
That's
Because
like
I'm
marriage.
mad. Because I'm mad. Because you were babysitting my kids on Saturday. Now I got to stay home with the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, by the way, you get mad love on Facebook.
Ooh.
Hey, repost reshare it so other people can join.
Yeah,
you know.
you get mad love.
Oh, thank you.
Comments are flying all over the place.
How many books do you read a year?
This year I haven't read as much as I wanted. At the beginning of the year, I said 1 a month, but I've not been doing that. So I would say 5 to 6, and that's not good. Like for me, I'm a reader. So I ideally, if I had more time, I'll read a book a month for sure.
I want to go back to this retreat thing though. Like, please tell us what you guys do here. Like, how many days does it last? Like, what do you guys do? What's your program like?
Okay.
You know, for people who are actually interested in, coming,
Yes.
people who've never been.
Yeah.
Are you setting up another one?
Yes, we have another one. You can register already. It's going to be in Austin, Texas. Gorgeous Austin. Amazing. So here's the thing.
Can I join?
Look, I've tried to tell my husband we need a guy retreat. Would you put together a guy? He's like, yeah, we'll go to Vegas. I'm like, okay, no, that's
I
not
like
the type
that
of
one.
retreat. Like that is not the type of retreat we're talking about here at all. So every retreat has a theme. The last retreat we had was called The Business of You, funny enough. So kind of like title.
Title of the book?
Yeah. And so the goal is always for me to give the women a break so that they can finally tap into their inner self and ask themselves questions that they've not had a chance to ask themselves. That they can be reminded of who they really are, how amazing they are, that they can find new friendships, new connections. And so there are so many ways we could have done the retreat, but I always wanted to give them an experience. And that's what we do. We take the ladies to, I mean, the last house was a $4.5 million home in Sundance, Utah. So we take them to these amazing locations. We bring in a private chef. I don't know about you, but I don't remember the last time, if it was in the retreat, where I woke up in the morning, I had a spread.
Right.
Okay. Flown in private chef that stays there the whole time to cater all of your needs, right? Eureka comes in with her event planning and all that kind of stuff, but it is intense. Don't come if you're not ready.
Right.
If you're not ready to kind of experience something different, this is not for you. Like, we will blow your mind. We have workshops. So depending on the theme. So that one was a business retreat. So we brought in a PR consultant. We brought in an accountant. We brought in, I was there to also talk about just business overall. We talked about so many things. The reason why businesses fell. My favorite part of that retreat, we had a think tank, is how I called it, where we sat in a circle and you'd be like, want to have this podcast called Stuck in the Middle. Like, what do you guys think? And then we'll be like, hey, you could do it this way. You could do it that way. Don't forget to make sure that you trademark your name, this and that. And people left there with their whole roadmap for the next 18 months. Like, where do you get that?
Right.
Where? So the retreats are amazing. It's 3 days typically.
Okay.
Go to the website, skretreat.com, and all the information is on there. We get crazy reviews, and when we're done, we stay in touch. We have a private Facebook group where we celebrate each other, we keep each other accountable. Where I'm like, yo, you told us 3 months ago you were writing a book, like, what's up? So having that level of accountability with people that are not wanting you to stay in hiding, they're not invested in that. They want you to shine.
Gotcha.
Hey,
So, ladies, you heard that.
I like this.
Go sign up for the retreats, but before you do, you better be ready because they don't want no slackers.
SK
Better be
Retreats.com.
ready.
Man,
Flex, man.
what writers do you enjoy reading? What kind of genre books? Motivation?
So the book that I'm reading now
Yeah,
is
what are you
called
reading
Beside
now?
My Book. Yo, look. Go
You're
out
like me. When
there
I
and-
love song, I listen. Like, you got to listen. Sorry.
Go ahead and read my book. But beside my book, I'm reading 5 Seconds Rules by Mel.
Great book.
Somebody, I forget her last name.
Great book.
Really good book. I've started reading that. But right now too, every day, there's not a day that I don't listen to something encouraging, empowering, or something. So whether it's reading it, whether it's listening on YouTube, information is so much more available today. The amount of free information out there is ridiculous. So I make sure that it's part of my routine that I'm going to be encouraged, because I have to go out there and pour out into people. I have to also figure out how to pour back into me.
How
So,
do you
yeah.
decipher what's good information? Because not everything everybody
Not everything
says
is good. It has to make sense. I mean, I think for me, like, okay, first of all, tell me, like, how did you come up with this? Like, did you just
Put that out of
like
The hindsight.
let me just do a little bit of research on you, and then I read and kind of decide, does this make sense, and what is it
Discernment.
that I can take? You know what I mean? Like, there's in a book with 300 pages, there's one thing that you can take, that you can be like, yo. And here's how I look at it. If they're telling me that here's interesting. Did you guys know that 1%, there's 1% of the population that makes 99% of all the money? Just
Yeah.
1%. So yo, what else is there to know? I just need to know, what are they doing? Like,
Exactly.
that's it. I just need to know. So I'm reading a book and it says, and there are books that you keep hearing, Think and Grow Rich. That's a staple. Everybody you hear about, they say that. Okay, yo, I got to read it. So I think it depends on where you are and what your goals are. Read things in that industry, and yeah, you would decide and figure out, does that make sense? Can I apply anything from there or not? Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that book, the 5 second rule, is by Mel
You like
Robinson.
that? It's a
Yeah,
good book,
actually, I read the book. Yeah,
This guy reads a lot.
It
I'm surprised.
made me, it made me do things different.
Yes.
For example, waking up in the morning. Like waking up is one of my greatest. Like is one of my greatest struggles.
Oh.
So when I go 4, 3, 2, 1, boom, I just roll off and
You
fall
just
down.
jump up.
Yeah, I just jump up
Yeah.
and I just go.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that was my take from it.
That's it that you do.
Yeah, whatever else you said didn't matter to me. What mattered to me was
5, 4, 3,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Go.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. No,
You
that's
know,
true. I
so-
love
I
that
have to
book.
wake up because I have to go to walk. It's okay.
Yeah, I jumped up this morning. My mom was like, "Yo, what's up? Why you?" Like, I jumped out like I gotta go work out. She's like, "You got in at like 1 in the morning. It's 6." I'm like, "Look, I read this book. you gotta start. You gotta
Right.
go." And another thing that was interesting from all my studies is a lot of the millionaires, they work out. So what is that to think about? I'm like, I gotta go. I'm like, Mom, I can't. I have a busy day. I gotta go.
And they
work
start
out.
out days at 6 a.m.
Health
Yes,
is
I
in
do.
5 a.m.
Health is
Yes.
the greatest wealth.
Yeah.
Yo, hiding in plain sight. The author is Sandra Kemayou, by the way. What do you want readers to take away from your book, this book, your newest book? And what do you want readers not to take away from it? Start with better.
Start with not take away from it.
What do you want them
think-
to take away from it?
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I want them to know that they are one decision away from the life of their dream, and that they don't have to change everything in order to change a thing. Because sometimes we get so overwhelmed and we feel like, oh my gosh, so I'm gonna have to lose weight. I'm gonna have to change job. I'm gonna like that's too much. But you can start by just saying every morning I'm gonna wake up at 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump out of bed. And I'm going to do that consistently. What are you willing to do consistently? Is it one book a month? Is it writing 15 minutes every day? I think it's about consistency. And when you can prove to yourself that, no, I'm that kind of person that completes whatever I say I'm going to do, then it kind of triggers and you just start looking at yourself differently. So if there's one thing, start one thing. Like start. And you may not have all the resource, the whole team, you may not have all of that when you get started, but you have to start because your purpose has to be bigger than you. And that's another thing that I want people to remember. If your purpose is just to make money, you're going to have a problem.
Right.
You're going to have when I watch you guys, I see that you guys passionate about it,
There's
right?
no money, yo.
Yet,
Yeah.
yet, right? Call me.
Hey.
All right. Call me, and we'll figure out how to make money out of
Like
this.
this
But
one.
what is it that you are trying to say with your products? Like when you go to Starbucks, you get an experience. It's not just coffee. You could go to McDonald's and get 99-cent coffee, but you go there and spend what, $4 or $5 for coffee. What is it?
$9.
So the owner of Starbucks wasn't just trying to sell coffee. He was trying to sell an experience. What is it that you're trying to sell with your singing, with your craft, with your gift? What experience? What is the message? Get clear on that. If there's nothing else, you have the rest of the year. If you spend the next 3 months figuring out what the message is, what the gift is for you, you've had a great year. So that's what I would say. What I don't want people to take from my book or my life or my IG is that it's perfect. Or that you have to have what I have in order to start. I started this, I talk about, I'm a French-speaking Cameroonian, and I came here and I wasn't speaking English. I mean, and I'm writing a book in English. So no matter what the obstacles are, I don't want you to say, if my life was like hers, then I would start. Because at the end of the day, you don't really know what people's life behind the scenes are. So start with being grateful with what you have and know that you are able to just change everything. And your stage might not be like mine. You might have no interest in writing books or whatever it is, but you have a stage. And you are performing on that stage today. Even if I'm a mother and I have 3 kids, that's your stage. And they are watching you. That could be the next Obama, yo. What are you teaching them?
Right.
So you have something to contribute. You are valuable. You are loved. And you just have to make a decision to change your life.
Man. She's speaking tomorrow at the Congressional Black Caucus Authors Pavilion. She has a book signing right after. She's the author of her second book, Hiding in Plain Sight. Her name is Sandra Kemayou. We greatly appreciate you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. And keep doing what you're doing. This is so amazing. I'm like, what? What? You know, I am so excited. Like, I was so excited about this interview because I watch you guys and I just love the topic. Like, you guys talk about mental illness, and I just love the topics that you guys are talking about. That is, you guys are doing important work. And I mean, keep doing what you do. Please don't give up. And again, if you're a business owner that you're trying to figure out how to make money from your gift, there's an art to it. Hire me. And we can do this, but you guys have what you can't sell. You have the passion for it, and I can tell you all study what you do. Like, I can tell it shows. So the money is easy, at least for me. I see money, like, I'm like, we can make money here than the other place, but you can't teach that passion. And you guys, thank you so much for having me and for what you guys do. You do important work. I'm so honored to be here.
No doubt.
No doubt. Hey.
One last question for you. One last question for you to the listeners. Please, let the people know what fear or how fear can hold you down. Like,
That's a good one.
Yeah, just speak a little bit about
Yeah.
it, because you look you look like you don't have a little, drop of fear in you. So tell them how you did
So
it.
what helped? Because fear was like a thing to me. What helped is when I understood what fear is about, right? That fear is actually good. So your brain, you have to understand that your brain is meant to keep you safe. Not happy, not successful, not rich, safe. That's it. And so whenever your brain feels like, whoa, I'm in a situation that I've never been in and I may get hurt, whether it's emotionally hurt or physically hurt, fear comes in. That's really good. Otherwise, you'll be in car accidents, you'll be touching fire, you'll be doing all kind of crazy stuff. You want to have fear. That's good. So now I love fear because all it's telling me is you've never been on the podcast. So I'm a little bit scared. Right. How do I, so once you understand that, you're not going to be upset because you're scared. You're going to understand that, okay, today I may be scared, but by the time I do my second, my third, my fourth, I'm sure you guys are not nervous anymore, or not at the same level.
I was never still.
Ooh.
I was never.
Not at the same level when you did your first one, right? Because you are used to it. Your brain now knows we don't die when we do the podcast.
Right.
Like, our life is not at risk, so it's okay. So if there's one tip, how do you combat that before you come on the podcast and you like crying in a corner because you're scared? You visualize. You visualize it, and you can do it, in your house. I like to do it in the morning. So believe it or not, I have visualized me sitting here, very relaxed, very comfortable, for weeks now. So when I walk in, my mind is like, yo, look, we've done this before. Because your mind does not know rehearsal from truth. Simple example, when you go to the movie theater, right, and you watch a scary movie, and you're yelling, like, it's a scary movie. Why are you scared? Because your mind does not realize that's fake. And so athletes are good at this. Because they will do the whole rehearsal, they go training, even in their mind, like, let's visualize winning the Super Bowl. That's true. That's real. So whoever your biggest guess is that you have in your mind, to make sure that you prepare for it, visualize it. I'm already visualizing, like I said, I visualize this. I'm visualizing Oprah. So that by the time she comes, I can be like, yo, look, are you adopting any more kids? Because look, I got and if you don't want the young ones, I know you had the school with the girls. I am about the age of those girls. I am not. Look, my dad will be okay with it. We don't have to tell no one, so that I can have that conversation. I'm already visualizing it. So visualize and prepare and train in front of the mirror. Very important. So no, I have no fears.
Okay. Well, y'all heard lady, heard Sandra. Take that advice
And go out and pick the book, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate.
New York Times bestseller.
You already know, man. New York Times bestseller.
Hey,
All the way from Cameroon.
that would be something. That would be
Listen.
something.
Speaking of gifts, Don't
Hey, we give gifts
Some
too.
people
Oh, you
think
guys
that
give gifts?
they bring gifts also. But anyways, hey, when was it? When did your album drop?
The 16th of September.
When did your album drop?
September 16th.
September 16th.
September
Yeah.
16th.
My producer, Reflex, his stage name, Reflex.
Yeah.
You
It means
know,
a
released-
reflection of Christ.
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
released an
That's what I
album.
try to live my life to be. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
definitely. He's a good man.
So no cursing in your album.
I
or
do.
nothing?
No, there's no
No,
cursing
no,
on the
no.
Oh,
album.
good.
but, you know,
Good,
I
good,
curse if I
good.
hit my toe on the song.
Okay, no, that's good. Okay.
And that's big though, because a lot of people like,
No,
I'm not gonna buy it. There's a curse word in it. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's no curse word. I say, you know what? money back guarantee 100%. If you hear a curse word, bring it back to me and I'll give you money back.
Wow. So
Yeah.
what is rap?
This is Afro trap.
Apple trap.
So Afro trap is
100%. It's like, like Afro beats.
Listen. How about this? You listen to it, and then you call us up and tell us your experience, what you
okay.
think.
Look,
Yeah.
What
give
you
it to
think,
Ethan.
everything.
I'm gonna give it to
So-
Ethan. I'm gonna give it to Dre. You know, Dre has a musical ear. You guys should have him on the
Listen
show.
to her, please, I beg.
You guys should have
I
Dre
mean,
on
listen
the
to
show
my
for
album.
real. My
Oh, no,
husband.
definitely. We're working on it. We're working on
Yeah.
it. We're working on it.
Yep. So I'll let him listen, and when he comes back, he'll tell you because he's he has a musical
Yeah.
ear. Okay.
So hand over
So-
the gift.
Okay.
Hold on now.
Sorry.
Let me finish my speech now.
Sorry.
So it's titled Afese for people who who don't know what it means. It means God's given, God sent, God just put
Thanks be
something
to
in
God.
it. Thanks be to God, pretty much. You know what I mean? The message. I urge people to actually listen to the message. It's very, very deep. It's very deep if you actually pay attention to what's been said on this album. I'm not just saying this because he's my little brother or because I'm working with him. I actually listen to this every single day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, I blast the thing in the car.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, hey, 2 copies to you.
Thank you.
One for you and one for Lobe. One
I'll
for
give it to
Lobe.
Bay. He likes
yeah.
look. Okay.
I think it's $10, so you're getting it as a gift.
Can you imagine? Look, yo.
Go and buy my album. So.
I love that. You guys go out and buy this. You know, go and buy. Is it on iTunes? Where is this
It's
at?
every-
It's everywhere.
It's
iTunes,
everywhere.
Tidal, Spotify.
Okay. All right. I'll be.
And while you at it, purchase the
But
book,
there's a book. It's on Amazon.
Yes.
The Business of You.
How can people reach you, by the way?
SandraKemayou.com has all the information about the retreat, about business consulting, everything about the book, where you can find me at, book signings and everything. Sandra Kemayou, first and last name.com.
And click on the link to get this book. Let's help get our sister,
Bestsellers
our African
list.
sister,
Hey.
to top that list.
Ahead.
But
Sandra.
by the way, hold on.
This guy.
My bad, man. Your pictures are so clear. I mean, I know, can you give us a hookup?
Yes,
You
my
know,
hubby.
you know, hook up now.
Dre Vision Photography.
We're in Texas next weekend, actually.
Are you?
so-
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you
we're taking
are.
the weekend,
yeah,
Okay,
so-
whose sister?
No, let's not discuss that one on the podcast.
Oh,
but
ooh. Are we still live? Okay, wait. So, but he's here. When are you
okay.
leaving?
No, don't worry. We'll come back in Texas. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Dre Vision Photography. I tell you, best photographer out there.
Yes, sir.
Can't go wrong.
Facts.
There you go. Bam.
For all your weddings and all whatnot. But anyways, we'll have him on here. Flex, do your thing, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, Stuck in the Middle podcast with Sandra Kemayou. We out.